Hey friends, it seems like the grift and the corruption of USAID is long and deep. I don't normally talk about this kind of stuff on this channel, but it seems like this is a big part of our republic right now. The talk on the street, contemporary issues, is the grift and the corruption and how much money, billions, tens of billions of dollars was apparently wasted, stolen, embezzled, not just over the past 4 years, but over the past maybe decades through this USAID program, full stop. Now there's a young woman on YouTube whom I subscribe to. Her name is Natasha. She's a Russian gal, and she makes a lot of videos on the ground, historically on the ground of her country in Russia, what she observes, and talking about her culture and the situations on the ground there. Very interesting, firsthand account. And then she started to be very critical of Putin and the Russian government and this and that, especially on issues of social so-called importance here in America called LGBTQ, whatever that is, or I don't even know if I got that correct. And she was very critical of that, and USAID picked up on that and sponsored her, gave her money. And that led me to believe that maybe there's more. There's a lot more people that are receiving this kind of money from these aspects and agencies of our own government, this republic's government. Now, granted, we are a republic. We elect leaders, our representatives, to do things in our name. So we in this republic are not necessarily truly democratic, because if we were, my voice would count. It does count in the election. So we all vote for our representatives, our senators, etc., and we trust them to go to DC and do what's best for us, and especially their constituents of the respective area in the country. However, that doesn't always work that way, sadly. A lot of corruption gets in, a lot of grift gets in, a lot of people become fabulously wealthy just from being in Congress for a few years. It's really disgusting. I don't like it. I know you don't like it, and I think it's pretty bad that is the case. But getting back to this young lady, this Natasha girl, she seems like a nice gal, a very sweet young lady with a good heart, and that's important. Okay, it's very important that we recognize that and we acknowledge that of this gal. Okay, but I'm going to just show you now a bit of her video where she's admitting she was receiving paychecks to make disparaging videos about her country. Now, that's a good question. Would you take money from the Russian government to make videos disparagingly talking about America? I wouldn't take any money. I would just say what I felt, respective of this or that administration. I wouldn't take anybody's money for it. Matter of fact, I've been offered a lot of money by some scumbags to tell them what I think I know about a person, where this person might be, which I told them to fuck off. And I continue to say that. And they may be watching this. So that's another whole story, which I won't get into. But I wouldn't take any money like that. I just wouldn't. So it's interesting how USAID has permeated every aspect of society out there. It's kind of unfortunate that is the case, but it is. So let me just show you this video of her talking just right now.
So Trump shut down the USAID agency, and I cannot get payments from the United States government anymore. Therefore, I cannot continue making my videos, and I need your help. At least this is what some people comment under my recent video with a clickbaity title, Homeless in Warsaw. So in this video, I want to talk about my financial situation, how I make money on this channel. What do I think about the opposite side? YouTubers who support Russia, depicting it mostly in a positive light, do they get funded from the Russian government? Also, I will tell you about the moment of my life when I actually was sponsored by the government of the United States. So let's start. I got a lot of comments from people saying that I'm homeless because now I cannot get money from Uncle Sam anymore. Trump liquidates USAID. Soon you'll end up in the street. What are you talking about? I'm already in the street. USAID funding for regime change and LGBT bloggers has come to an abrupt halt thanks to Musk. Hooray. Poor Natasha. She's an accident victim of USAID. So the USAID is an agency that basically promotes American interest, funding different development programs. There were programs for global health, fighting poverty, famine, and so on. And that's how some people connected my criticism of the Russian government with getting financial aid. So before, I used to hear such opinions from people who didn't like me criticizing some aspects of life in Russia. Even pro-Russian Westerners who moved to Russia and start their YouTube channels criticized me for purposely filming only the bad parts of my town, because this is what YouTube, an American company, promotes, and that was the only reason I got many views, according to their logic. But recently I started receiving even more comments like this. Yeah, now I want to tell you all the truth. Now I'll tell you how I started this channel. It was in 2018 when I was a second-year student in my university in Khabarovsk. I always enjoyed basically telling foreigners about my country, its culture, and the Russian language. I could not overlook the poverty I saw around and also my growing discontent with the Russian government, because also back then there were protests in my region. And then in 2022, the invasion of Ukraine started, and I became even more critical of the government because of course I did not support this, and I made the decision to leave Russia because of the anxiety, because I was constantly afraid of going to jail for my online posts, and also I couldn't earn money from YouTube anymore. And I found asylum here in Georgia. It's still not my final destination, but at least I managed to firstly get rid of anxiety, not just anxiety but justified concern about my freedom. And secondly, I managed to set up my internship and continue getting my income from YouTube. Basically, I have two income sources. It's monetization and donations. When I monetize my videos, YouTube shows ads to you, and that's how...
So if anybody wants, if anybody wants to go look at this young lady, her thing is Natasha's Adventures. Let me make sure I say that correctly. Yes, Natasha's Adventures. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about her. Wow, look at the numbers. She has 375,000 subscribers with only 123 videos. It's interesting. That's great. I'm glad to see her succeed and have such good numbers. I really am. I love to see people succeed. But it's interesting how people do succeed with this kind of stuff. A lot of money, USAID money, was put into this young lady to, of course, bring such growth to her channel. Everybody's shaking hands with each other in this industry and the media, the YouTube, government, things like that. So that's great. I'm glad she is successful. I hope she does have continued success. But it's interesting, again, how this has become such a, foreign aid is actually servitude. So this is foreign aid. Do I want my tax dollars to go into this girl's pocket? No, I do not. I'd rather my tax dollars go to my fellow citizens in North Carolina. Sorry. But I'm not sorry. That's the way it goes. So there it is, folks. Got to go to work. Cheers.